I do apologise there to our viewers. We had some network issues there with Selina. Hopefully she will join us once again soon. We now move on to another related development. At an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council, ambassadors warned Israel about risks of the expanding of Israel's military offensive in Gaza. China's permanent representative, Cong, said Beijing firmly opposes any attempt to occupy Gaza, urging Israel to halt what he called a dangerous move and warning against altering the territory's demographic or political structure. Meanwhile, the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs Director, Ramesh Rajasingham, said the following.
Humanitarian conditions are beyond horrific. We have frankly run out of words to describe it. Whatever lifelines remain are collapsing under the weight of sustained hostilities, forced displacement, and insufficient levels of life-saving aid. Hunger-related deaths are rising, especially among children, with severe malnutrition. Since the escalation of hostilities in October 2023, the health authorities in Gaza have documented the deaths of 98 children from severe acute malnutrition, 37 alone since the 1st of July, just over a month ago. This is no longer a looming hunger crisis. This is starvation.
During the emergency meet, the United States representative supporting Israel stood against Palestinian comments and other allies. Let's take a listen in to the US comments made during the meet.
The truth is that this war could end today if Hamas let the hostages and all of Gaza go free. Remarkably, instead of pressuring Hamas, members of this body have encouraged and rewarded its intransigence, actively prolonging the war by spreading lies about Israel, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, and the United States, and by handing propaganda victories to them.
The pressure should not be placed on Israel, who suffered the most horrific attack against the Jewish people since the Holocaust, but on Hamas, in order to demand the immediate and unconditional release of our hostages. Yet, in a complete inversion of morality and logic, this body has urgently convened to chastise the one democracy in the Middle East, the nation standing on the front line of the battle against radical extremist terrorism.
Israel proved long ago it does not care about the Charter, international law, or the resolutions of this Council if not accompanied by consequences. These facts have led many to rightly wonder, how on earth is Israel still allowed to sit around this table and in these United Nations? If it was another country, you would have been imposing sanctions a long time ago.
We're once again joined by Shruti Dasgupta to discuss this further. Shruti, as Benjamin Netanyahu was speaking yesterday, we saw this United Nations Security Council meet, an emergency meeting. As we can hear and as we can see from both the media and these organizations, pressure is mounting on Israel like never before. However, one country stands by them, and that is the United States, both at the United Nations and also President Donald Trump. Can you analyze the United States' stance in this conflict a bit more for us?
Well, United States is the big brother for Israel, and Israel very heavily lobbies. I do not know whether your viewers understand this or not, but US allows political lobbying. That means favors granted for political power. So Israel does very heavy lobbying in terms of politicians and their sway in United States themselves. They also, a lot of Israeli companies sponsor a lot of academia happening in US itself. The only nation that surpasses the amount of money spent by Israel in lobbying in USA is Qatar. So this is how Israel is able to continue to have sway on the US policies regarding Israel and its actions. Now, if I move beyond this and I say that there is also a large cooperation between tech industries, between Israel and USA, there's also shared interests between USA and Israel, because Israel does not want a complete Arab dominance while being in the Middle East. So they want survival, and USA finds Israel as a very convenient excuse to ensure that the Arab powers are kept under a certain threshold to ensure that the US influence continues to guide the policies of the Arab world. So it's all about energy, it's all about critical minerals, which are very abundant in the Middle East. And Israel is there, and it's used very conveniently by the USA to ensure that these nations are always on the back foot, while signing probably unequal policy agreements with the USA and the rest of the world. For Israel, having USA as the big brother helps because they are a giant military power, and as of now, they are uncontested in the multipolar world for their military dominance. And they come whenever Israel calls, whether it is combating with the Yemen, combating with Iran, as we recently saw, or even with Lebanon and the Hezbollah. So they have veto power in UN, so they can help Israel more than just political lobbying itself. So the USA plays a very giant role in how Israel is able to act in the world.
Thank you, Shruti. We're also joined by Selina Ryan once again. She joins us live from Tel Aviv. Selina, as we've just previously discussed, pressure is mounting on Israel like never before, especially due to some of these claims and statistics that are coming from humanitarian agencies of malnutrition, mainly of children starving in Gaza. According to the United Nations, 12,000 cases of children under 5, the highest monthly figure on record. We saw Benjamin Netanyahu speak yesterday. He showed images to his crowd and to the press and said that there is no starvation in Gaza. He did say that people of Gaza needed aid. However, what are your thoughts on the claims that there's a huge escalating problem of malnutrition in Gaza, and also Benjamin Netanyahu's claims countering that?
Hi. So as I said, live with you yesterday, there is no starvation in Gaza. I was there with my own eyes and I saw the aid that's pouring into Gaza. There is no starvation, and all these pictures with little children that we saw, it's manufactured, or it's children that suffer from unrelated conditions, muscular conditions, or brain palsy, like cerebral palsy, like even Netanyahu said yesterday. You can see it's not by seeing the children themselves. You can see the child sitting next to a healthy brother or a healthy mother or overweight parent. This is not starvation. Starvation doesn't pick and choose. And also, you spoke about 12,000 cases of malnutrition. Where does the United Nations get their information from? From Hamas. This has been a propaganda started by Hamas, and they're also speaking about it. They're not even shy in saying that they're faking this propaganda to Mount Rushmore as well. So I'm not sure how the world still doesn't see beyond Hamas's lives.
Yes, Selina Ryan, thank you very much for joining us. We now move on, where Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has also said that the IDF has been instructed to dismantle Hamas strongholds. He has said that there are 2 remaining Hamas sites that are now on target. As part of the Gaza takeover plan, Netanyahu also outlined a 3-step plan to increase aid in Gaza. He mentioned inclusion of designated safe corridors for humanitarian aid distribution, as well as more airdrops by Israeli forces and other partners. He said the plan would also include increasing the number of safe distribution points managed by the controversial US and Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Meanwhile, UN ambassadors have condemned Israel's plans to take control of Gaza, as the Israeli Prime Minister insists it is the best way to end the war. He also claimed Israeli hostages held in Gaza were the only ones being deliberately starved, and denied Israel was starving Gazans. We are once again joined by Shruti Dasgupta. Shruti, of course, this Gaza Humanitarian Foundation and Benjamin Netanyahu's comments yesterday say that there is no intention of starving the population of Gaza. However, statements from some of Benjamin Netanyahu's cabinet has said otherwise. The likes of Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich have said in Parliament that they plan to occupy Gaza completely, and have also criticised the flow of humanitarian aid into the enclave. What's different about what's going on inside Israel, inside the Israeli parliament, along with Benjamin Netanyahu's close circle of ministers, and also what he said last night to the international press?
So when he began his Gaza conflict, his Gaza adventures, Netanyahu had the undivided support of all